Hello everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel. I'm going to make this very quick because I'm filming it on my phone. I've just come to edit this video and guess what? It has no intro, so I'm not going to drag this out. We've got a nice vlog today doing loads of book stuff, so I'm going to not make you look at this and listen to this rubbish audio quality, and let's get straight into the vlog. So the next bookish thing, excuse the state of me, sorry, I've got rosemary oil in my hair because it's hair wash day, so we've got it slicked back with rosemary oil. Anyway, the next thing we need to do bookish wise is make a new TBR jar. I've been wanting to do this for a while and it's occurred to me that I need to actually film my January TBR literally tomorrow, so we kind of need to make the new TBR jar today because I do want to use the new jar for the new year. So I'm gonna sit and do a few prompts now, then I've got a few house bits to do, and then I'm gonna have a think whilst I'm doing the house bits about what other prompts I want to use. I've got no plan for this, I've not like jotted any down in my phone, I'm literally gonna write random prompts. And obviously I can add to this as well, like as the year goes on and as we use the prompts we can put in new ones. Do put any suggestions down below for prompts that I could include. I'm just going to listen to some of my audiobook and do some prompts. Filming all of my end of the year book videos has left me with quite the mess of books on the floor of the book room. So the next bookish thing we need to do is get these shelves back intact, because I'll now put the camera up and show you the absolute state. There are literally just like gaps, like just massive gaps everywhere. So yeah, we are now gonna sort these out and get all these books back on the shelves. It is a different day, I'm just still wearing this big grey jumper. I feel like I give that disclaimer in every video, but anyway. Today I am catching up on the Bookmarked podcast. I am so behind. I am 4 months behind on this podcast and I really don't know how. So I'm getting caught up on that, and whilst I do that I've got I've got the urge to just brainstorm videos that I want to do in 2025 and start planning them out. I'm not going to do it too set, like I don't want to make my reading too structured, but I just feel like I want to have an idea of the videos that I want to film in 2025 and roughly when I might want to do some of them. So that's what I'm going to do now, and then in another part of this video we're going to sort my Notion out. So I'm just going to do it on paper for now, and then later in the video I'm going to transform this brain dump into some kind of calendar on Notion so that we can actually start planning my year. Hello, it is now a different day. I'm just popping in because there's a few little bookish things I want to do today, primarily all on my laptop. I basically want to sort my Notion out, and I also want to make a new series tracker. So I have an Excel spreadsheet, but it's really basic and it's not that user friendly. So I'm going to sit now and actually spend some time creating like a good series tracker, and then I'm going to sort my Notion out as well. I've still got all my 2024 stuff on there, so I want to refresh it for the new year. Want to get my 2025 TBR on there. Basically, get it all sorted and set up so that it's easy for me to use in the new year. I also want to do I think I mentioned before that I want to do a plan of when I'm going to upload which videos that I want to do throughout 2025. Obviously the dates might change, but I just want kind of a rough idea of when I want to upload certain things, and therefore when I need to film and edit certain things as well. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do for a bit now. It's probably going to take a while, so I'm not going to like film me doing the whole thing because I think that'd be quite boring, but I'll pop back in when I've done them and give you a little tour of like my Notion and show you my new series tracker. Please do excuse the absolute state of me. My bath's running and I've just washed my hair, so I'm sat here with a towel on my head to start drying my hair. However, we've got an important job to do. We've got a few bookish things left to do in this video, and I've only got time to do one of them right now. You'll probably be pleased to know, so you don't have to look at me like this for too long. But what I want to do, I want to make a list on my Notion of all the books that are currently on this TBR cart, because I want them all gone by the end of the year. I said in it was the video where I showed you all of my physical TBR. We counted in, there's like 60 something books on my physical TBR, and I want all of these off the physical TBR by the end of the year, whether I read them or unhaul them. Every single book on this cart will not be on this cart by the end of the year. Hopefully I will read and enjoy most of them and they will go on my bookshelves, fingers crossed. Some of them might end up getting unhauled because I didn't like them, some might get unhauled before I even read them because I'm not interested in them anymore, who knows. Basically my job for right now is to make a list of all of these books that I have here. Obviously the cart won't be empty at the end of the year because we're going to add new books to it. The point is that I want all of these books off it by the end of the year, and then I want only the bottom two filled so I can use the top one next year for my like monthly TBRs, because at the moment this is just stuffed full and it's just not productive, it's just overwhelming. So yeah, I'm going to sit now and make a list on my Notion of all of the books on this cart, and then throughout the year we're going to do like some fun little videos, some TBRs, some unhauls, some reading vlogs involving just the books that are currently on the cart. So yeah, that is my job for right now. I haven't forgot to show you my Notion, by the way. It isn't finished yet. I'm just getting information onto my Notion right now, but I need to properly sit, because I've been doing it on my iPad, I need to properly sit with my laptop and make it look nice and pretty and actually organise my Notion. So I am going to do that this week, so that will be in this video. So we've got some more bookish tasks to do, guys. I've just filmed part of a book haul and I want to put the books away. So I'm not going to put away all of them, because if you're watching this and the haul, I don't want you to be bored like just watching me talk about the same books twice. What I am going to do, because we're going to make a whole new shelf with some of the books that we got. So I got myself the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J Maas, and I want to make a shelf out of them. So just above the frame is my ACOTAR and Crescent City shelf. These aren't going to fit on there because that shelf is already full. So I'm going to rearrange some of these two shelves here, move some stuff down and do like a nice little Throne of Glass display. So that is the plan. So let's crack on and make ourselves a pretty Throne of Glass shelf. I'm having a bit of a dilemma, guys, because ideally I want them all like this, but I just literally don't have space. Like I just don't know what to do. I think we might have to accept that we're just going to have it like this maybe for a bit, and then when I move and redo my shelves and have more shelf space, maybe then we can have them all, because it's just not going to work. Like I just don't have enough space to have them all going along like that. So I've done it like this because the last three in the series are my favourite. So I've just kind of put all of the other ones like that. I don't really like how that looks though. I'm thinking, do I do a stack like this way? I don't know. And does that look odd, like having just half a series? I feel like that kind of looks better. I'm not saying it makes sense because I don't think it does, but I just think it looks better. Because yeah, I literally have no shelf space left to have displays like this, but I am going to have extra shelves in the new house eventually. So I think this is just what we're going to have to do for now. The finished shelf does look a bit odd because we've just kind of randomly got the Cruel Prince trilogy but say it with me, I have nowhere else to put it. So for now, it's just going to look like this. So we've got Crescent City and ACOTAR, and then we've got 2 random Throne of Glass books there, which would probably look better down here, but say it with me, I don't have space. And then we've got Throne of Glass. Is this how I want it? No, but this is just gonna have to be how it is for now. I have done a little bit more work on my series tracker. I'm gonna go through the whole thing in a video that will be coming out in like a week or 2 of every series I'm in the middle of and my plans for them, etc. But basically what I've done is I've put the name of the series, or what I think the name of the series is, because I never know what series are called. I always just call it by the first book, but whatever. The author, the number of books that are currently released, the total number in the series if I know. So if it's been announced how many books there is going to be eventually, that is in this column, just so I can kind of keep track of how big these series are going to be. Or it also tells me if the series is already complete, and if so, I need to get a move on. And then the next one is the number that I have read, so obviously I can compare the number released, the total number, and the number that I've read to see how far behind I am or if I'm up to date. And then here, books remaining, so this is just of the books currently released. So if there's a number in this column, it means that there are books released in that series that I could be reading that I haven't. And then something I've added in this time that I think is going to be really helpful is whether it's an interconnected standalone or an actual series that has a plot that continues throughout the books. I've done this because I feel like to make this whole journey less overwhelming, I'm gonna focus first on series that have plots that run throughout the whole thing. Interconnected standalones, it's not that big of a deal if I leave a big gap between the books, because you usually get kind of a little crossover anyway between the end of the last book and the beginning of the next book. I feel like there's often a little bit of crossover and a little bit of a recap anyway, so that's not that deep. Whereas with an actual series that has an overarching plot, obviously I don't want to be forgetting like what's happened and who's who and everything like that. And then at the end I've just put the status. So with this I've popped a filter on so that I can filter it. So for example, there are series on here that I've DNF'd. The reason I've put them on here, series that I know I've absolutely DNF'd that I will never ever carry on with, I've not bothered putting back on here from last year. The ones that are on here are series that I've DNF'd, but I could be convinced to go back to them at some point. So they're on here, but I might not want to look at them all the time. So I can just get rid of that, click OK, and then it just shows me all the series that I actually want to continue with. And then likewise, I can get rid of the ones that I am already up to date with and just see all the series that I'm currently in the middle of. So I feel like it's a lot more user friendly than it was last year. Last year it was literally just a list and it didn't have any of these filters or anything. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. I'm sure I will probably continue to like edit it at some point, but yeah, this is what we've got so far. I'm now just going to carry on with my Notion and try and get that looking a little bit more aesthetically pleasing. Okay, there is definitely more that I want to add to the Notion looks wise. So I definitely want to add some more like pictures, space things out a bit, just get a bit more on here, but this is just my homepage. So at the top I've got a link to my vision board. I've not actually done the vision board itself yet, we've just got the link to the page right now. Yearly goals, this is literally just a list and this is also from last year, so again I need to update that, but the aim right now is just to have the bare bones of the Notion done. Then we've got a link to the productivity method. I purchased this from the productivity method, which is a company owned by Grace Beverley, and basically this is where I do my planning. So in here I've got what I'm going to upload, and when these are always subject to change, but I just wanted a general idea of when I want to upload things. So this is mainly what I'm using this page for at the moment, is this kind of overview calendar, but it also has so much other things in here as well. It's got sections on personal growth, like all these little, you could do a vision board in here. I'm going to tidy all this up so I've not got duplicates, but there's a habit tracker that I'll probably end up setting up at some point, which again have not done yet. And then there's tracking for tasks and projects, so more kind of long-term things. So like when I was wanting to relaunch my YouTube after having a couple of years off, I set that up as a project on here. And then there's little different planning sections like yearly, monthly, weekly and daily planning. My life's not that together at this point that I've done any of these, but it's just nice to have them so that throughout the year, when I kind of figure out how I want to plan things, this is here ready. It's a bit like different for me because I have a full-time job, so my days are planned around my full-time job, and I have like a separate device and accounts for that. So I plan my work day on my work accounts, if that makes any sense. Like I just use my Microsoft calendar. So these are probably going to be more pertinent to like weekends or time off or whatever, but it's just nice that these are built in here so that when I want to start doing these things, it's a lot easier because the templates are already there for me. So yeah, we've got that there, and then underneath here we've just got some few different sections. So in here I'm going to put recipes and food that I want to try. I do want to try and eat a little bit cleaner this year. Just it's hard because I really struggle with food, so I don't want to do any specific diets or anything like that, but I know that when I eat less processed food, my endo feels better. So just to try and make it like a bit more fun, I'm going to put recipes and stuff that I find in here. TBR, this at the minute is very basic, but this is kind of how I like it. I am going to put a couple of pictures and stuff on here, but ultimately I was going to set it up as a table, but I just like it as a tick list. I did this last year and I found it so easy to use across all my devices. So here we've got my 2025 TBR. So this is the list from the video for 25 books to read in 2025, and I can literally just tick them off as I go. And then here we've got the list from earlier in this video, the clear the cart list. So all the books that are on that TBR cart, and again, as I've read them or unhauled them, I can just tick them off once they're no longer on there. So this doesn't look cute, but the point of this is that it's actually easy to use. I didn't use Notion much towards the end of last year because it was just, I had stuff all over the place. It was too complicated. I had too many things going on, so I just never wanted to use it. Whereas now everything is on this homepage, like all the links I need are on here. Got workouts, so when I find like a good workout, good YouTube video, whatever that I enjoy, I'll put the link here so that when I'm feeling a bit stuck for inspiration, I can come here. Self-soothing box. So this is something that I saw, I can't remember where I saw it suggested. I think it was on like an email newsletter or something. But basically what this is if I'm having like a really, like I'm in a rut with my mental health and I don't know what to do, and I just need something kind of quick to make me feel better, but I've forgotten everything that's ever brought me joy, this is where I come. So it's really easy stuff like films that make me happy, like the Hating Game film. It's so ridiculous, but it just puts me in a good mood. TV shows, books that I can go back and read quotes from, just like really simple stuff. But when you are in that kind of moment where it's like, I just don't know what to do to feel better, this is like a digital self-soothing box. So I can just come in here and be like, oh yeah, that brings me joy. I'm going to do that for a bit. I definitely need to update this, like Heartstopper needs to be all over this page, please. Again, I plan to also put pictures of like some of these books and films on here just to cheer me up. Definitely needs updating. Red, White and Royal Blue film needs to be going on there as well immediately. There's so many things that I've watched and listened to since I made this like a couple of years ago, but again, just the template for it is there that I can update as and when. Guide to unhappiness, again, this was something I saw suggested. Basically, you make a list of everything that would make you unhappy and then check that you're not doing those things. So again, when I'm in like a rut with my mental health, I can go to this list and be like, okay, what on here am I doing day in, day out, and how can I stop doing it? It's like ironic, like it's supposed to be sarcastic, like if you want to be unhappy, do the things on this list. And then you look at the list and think, okay, so why am I doing these things? Because I don't want to be unhappy. Does that make sense? I don't know. I don't even know what this page is. Oh, okay, so this is just a list of like really random things that make me happy. So I think I need to incorporate that into the self-soothing box. So I'll work on that. I'll merge those two together. And then just a random one that shouldn't be, I don't know why that's in there. I don't really know where to put it because is cleaning fun? I do kind of find it fun. This is just specific to my house because I just get stressed when I'm like, okay, I need to clean, but I need it broken down into steps. So I have literally gone room by room and done like a numbered list of what order I should do everything in. So when I'm like, okay, I want to clean the kitchen today, I don't have to think about it and get overwhelmed by all the different elements. I can just, this sounds so stupid, but I can just look at this list and just follow it. It just makes it so much easier. Most of the time I don't need to do it, but again, it's if I'm having like a task paralysis day where I'm like, I just can't do things, it requires too much brain, I can just look at that and then I don't need any brain. And over here I've just got wish list. So I've got quite good in the last few years and not just impulsively buying stuff. So basically, if I want something, I will put it on one of these wish lists. I can make more categories as the year goes on. It's really easy to just add a page on Notion. I put it on here, and then if I'm still thinking about it, I can buy it. If I go back to this list and I'm like, I literally have not thought about that since I wrote it on the list, then I probably don't need it and I don't need to buy it. So yeah, that is just how my Notion is at the minute. That's just my homepage. Definitely needs a bit more work, but I think for the purposes of getting it set up for the new year, we've got the bare bones here of what we need. I just will make it a bit more aesthetic as the year goes on, but it's a bit of a busy week, so I'm probably not going to do that right now. But all I care about at the minute is that this is actually a usable space that can actually help me be more productive and like track things more. So another thing that I need to do is update my January reading tracker. It's the 9th today and I haven't added any of the books that I've read this year to it yet, so I need to do that. I'll just film like a screen recording on my iPad of me doing that and overlay it here. But basically I've made these reading trackers. I have popped them up on my Etsy. I've made one for every month of the year. I will leave a link to my Etsy down below. I'm going to use these as like a digital tracker. So I think I'm going to make a page for them on my Notion that I've just showed you. Like maybe in the fun category, I'll make like a little reading tracker section. I do use apps to track. So for like most of my like yearly stats and things, I track every book I read on an app. But I also just want like my own book journal. I don't have the time, the effort, nor the dedication to do a physical book journal. That's just a bit much for me, all the printing and the cutting and the sticking. So I'm going to do a digital book journal on my Notion, and I've basically made these reading trackers to do that. I'll probably also, when I make that page on Notion, I will also do like a stats tracker. Nothing like too detailed because, as I said, I use apps anyway, but just like in a month how many of like each genre am I reading or something like that. Just something very easy. So yeah, that is the job for right now, is to update my January thing. Obviously I'm going to update the January tracker as the month goes on, but I don't want to leave it and do it all at the end of the month. Like I kind of want to do it as I'm finishing books as the month goes on. Okay, the last bookish thing we need to do for this video is basically WH Smiths in the UK or England, I don't know, do this thing called Book Cycle, I think it's called, where basically you scan your books on their website and they won't buy all books back. There's quite a lot of them that they don't. However, you can scan them and basically you get a voucher to spend at WH Smiths if it's like an eligible book. So I'm going to sit and scan all of the books that I am unhauling. I uploaded my unhaul a few weeks ago. I'm going to sit and scan all of those books and we're going to see if I can get a voucher for WH Smiths. It would be very nice if I could. I'd quite like to buy some more books I can't buy. But yeah, let's sit and scan all of these and see if I can get myself, even if it's just like a little £10 voucher. I'm not expecting a lot from these at all, but if I can get anything, that would be nice. Just done that, ignore the washing, it is clean washing at least. Anyway, I've just scanned all the books and I'm actually dead impressed. I've got just over 20 quid. Well, I've not got the voucher yet. So basically what you do, you scan them all, they give you a valuation, and then you go and drop them off at a WH Smith store, which I'm going to try and do tomorrow or Sunday. And then you get an e-gift voucher, like an e-voucher. So, easy, I've got 20 quid to spend on books. Love that for me. So, I'm not saying it's like good value per book. Like it's, how many books? It must be less than £1 per book that I'm getting, but at the end of the day, these are books that I would have just dropped off at the charity shop anyway. Like, they just, I feel like selling books and stuff on Vinted, like these aren't the books that people would want. Like my special editions I'm going to sell separately, but yeah, these just aren't the books that people would want. I'm pretty impressed with that. And I think that brings us to the end of this video. I'm not sure there's anything else particularly bookish that I need to do really this week. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy this, please give it a thumbs up down below so I know whether to do more of these like doing book stuff videos or not. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!